Hello, friends, and welcome back to this episode of the Soulful Sacred Self-Love Show. If you are new here, my name is Renee Love, and I'm the CEO and founder of Modern Day Wise Woman, which is an online self-love coaching practice and private school. Here, wherever you're watching this, we talk about all things self-love, energy medicine, and holistic health. I'm so excited to get into this show with you because truly I woke up this morning and I knew I had to do this. I knew there was somebody that needed to hear this today. In this show, I want to talk to you a little bit about the difference between force and being in flow. So I'm going to say that again. The difference between force and being in flow. When it comes to bringing our ideas to life, bringing our goals to life, having an idea in our head, a dream, a vision in our head, and then actually having it be real. There are so many different ways that we can go about making those things happen. But beyond that, what I think a lot of us don't pay too much attention to, and this is a huge part of the self-love journey, is thinking about not just the motivation, or in other words, the why we want this particular thing in our lives, but really the energy behind it. The energy that we're actually using to bring this into our lives. You can use loving energy. You can use compassionate energy. You can use excited energy. And then on the other end of the scale, there's frustrated energy. There's anxious energy. There's irritable energy. And forceful energy. Now, these are not the only energies, right, that we often walk around with or express or exude. But these are just some examples to give you an idea of the range. In my experience, and I would love for you to share your experience in the comments below wherever you are watching this. In my experience, I find that when I'm bringing grounded energy, calm energy, loving energy, that's when things really start to move for me. That's when I really notice, it's almost like doors are just opening up, people seem to show up, all these synchronicities start to happen, and it's like God, the universe, everything is just making the way so clear and easy for me. But when I go unconscious, right, and I start to get into this desperate energy, this irritable energy, this unconscious angry energy, it's almost like things get harder and harder and harder. That's when I start to see more roadblocks showing up, people not necessarily responding the way that I need or want them to. It's like unexpected circumstances start to happen. Things are just not going according to plan. Like there's just so much friction in the process of trying to bring this thing to life. I've also noticed that for my clients, it's very much the same, which is why I would love for you to weigh in and just tell me if you've noticed that as well. So what does that tell us? It tells us that when we're trying to be forceful, like when we are trying to really just make this thing happen, and we're bringing all of this attachment, there's not a lot of room for flow. There's not a lot of room for things to organically unfold. And we become hyper-focused or fixated on trying to do things in a very, very specific way. And at the time, we think that that works, but really what it's doing is creating a ton of limitations. See, the more flexible and flowing and uninhibited something is, the more it can round itself out and bend and move in the ways it needs to come to life. A really beautiful example of this in nature is water. And I know many writers have talked about how water is strong. Right? Water is really strong. But if you notice how water moves, right? It can move around whatever it needs to move around to stay on path. When it needs to be small, it can be small and trickle through the tiniest of openings. And yet, when the way is wide and clear, it can spread as wide as the space is available for, and just gush and let itself just completely take over that space. No matter what is in the way, water can just move around it. That is a lot like what love is like. That's a lot like what grounded energy is like. Now, this doesn't mean that when it comes to bringing things into our life and manifesting, that we can only use energy that feels bubbly or positive or happy. You know, sometimes that's not how we feel. That's not our truth. And we don't want to fake things. We don't want to pretend. None of that is helpful either. It simply means, however, that we be conscious and aware of those feelings and not allow any negative feelings to make us feel desperate or to use force. There is a time and place for forceful energy. Mostly, it's not needed for the things that we desire, the things that we want to bring into our lives, the things that we desire. Things like love, a happy marriage, getting pregnant, finding our dream home, preparing for retirement, building our business, overcoming the death of a loved one, starting over again, acquiring optimum health. These things we don't need to use force for, and what we see is that when we become forceful, it actually does the opposite. It takes us farther away. It takes us into a place of resisting the here and the now, resisting the present moment. And when we resist, we get more things to resist. So the intention of really having this conversation with you and bringing this to your attention is to have you do some self-love work right now in your life, in an area where you desire something, where you desire more, you want to get better, you want to pull it or them closer. And to understand that all of this chasing, all of this pushing, all of this trying to make it exactly this way, or have someone do it exactly this way, or trying to make it line up perfectly and check every single box, or, get angry at this person or these people or whatever it is, all of that, while it's understandable and your experience is always valid, ask yourself, is it helping? Is all of this force and all of this resistance helping? And if the answer is no, then the opportunity is to bring flow in. Instead of using force, bring flow in. And how I like to describe bringing flow in is this way. Instead of trying to focus on your desired outcome, focus on raising your consciousness, your energy, and your vibration to the frequency of that which you desire. For those of you that are new to the term frequency, what I mean is you want to elevate your consciousness, your way of being, your way of looking at your situation, yourself, life, the other person or people, in the way that what you desire would with life itself, others, the world, etc. So, if it is love that you are seeking, and you know that all of this force and all of this trying to, do it whatever way you were trying to do it is making you angry and bitter and resentful and miserable and feeling desperate and like all of that, that is not on the frequency of what you want. So you have got to use flow now to surrender, to let go, to open, and to work on yourself so you can feel more loving, more free, more abundant, more grateful, more trusting, more in harmony and alignment. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments wherever you're watching this if this makes sense. If you are listening to this somewhere and you have your Instagram open or your, Snapchat open or whatever, screenshot yourself watching this and say, yes, I understand. Isn't it interesting how you can turn off the sound on something and it can still come through? I apologize for that, y'all. I don't know why we heard that when my sound is on silent. But I'm hoping that all of this is really making sense for you. And like I said this morning, my mind was going over this thing over and over and over and over and over again. And I could feel like parts of me just wanting to try to control this situation, try to control this person, all of that. And I had to ask myself, I had to get really honest with myself and ask myself, what energy am I coming with right now? Because all of this is feeling like force. And if I am in force, I am not in flow. It means I am no longer in partnership with God, with the universe. And now I'm off trying to do my own thing. I'm no longer in partnership or even in vibrational alignment with the thing that I'm trying to create. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not even now, now I'm in another realm of consciousness. And when I'm in that realm, I'm not going to manifest anything that is going to make my life better. Okay? No, I won't. So it's important to be able to think about these things and to remind yourself of how much more powerful it is to be in flow. Not only will it feel better, but you will also yield better results. You're more likely to get what you want. I have brought more into my life with flow than I have with any other kind of vibration. I hope today you surrender to the process and you remember that there is a divine order to all things and that you are highly favored in so many ways, and to take actions with love. Anywhere where you are wounded or feeling charged, be responsible for those feelings and those emotions. They are not bad. It is not wrong to feel that way. And with the right support and appropriate supervision or guidance, you can actually use that or some of those other emotions or energies to be in flow. It's just a lot of people don't know how to do that, and it becomes destructive rather than constructive. Okay? So if you need additional support, wherever you are watching this, you will see links on how you can work one-to-one with me, or, whoever your favorite coach or therapist is, find them and do work with them. All right, my lovelies, I hope that you have enjoyed this show. Don't forget to like this and share this with the people in your life that you love. If you are watching this on YouTube, remember to subscribe. And until we are together again for another show, don't you forget that we truly are in this together.